Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. All right. This is not a hallucination. There is someone next to me. This is Marty Molina. So he's actually in Hermosa Beach, drove here. So he's local. Before I get into an intro with him, and by the way, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite.
Quick plug for Mark Nicholas, Mark at ManhattanBeachStudios.net for all your editing desires. There's everything down below if you ever want to get in touch with him. And there's his website, does amazing work. All right, so we're going to roll right into it here. I have, as I mentioned, Marty Molina. He's the co-founder of Ocean Blue Innovation. Just came from there today, working on some new formulas there. Marty brings over 30 years of food and beverage experience to his projects, 8 years of brand management with Nestle USA, 7 years of channel and customer marketing roles with Pepsi, and 15 years of innovation work as co-founder of Power Brands Consulting, heard of them, and now Ocean Blue Innovation. Ocean Blue focuses on beverage R&D across all platforms, with clients ranging from bootstrap startups to national brands. Their sweet spot, is helping startup or smaller regional brands create, expand, or optimize their product lines for scale-up. Clients that they have helped in this fashion include Genius Juice, Lemon Perfect, Vive Organic, Pure Wild, Vibes, Ladder, and Noka. When not in the lab, Marty can be found wrangling with his twin boys or on the beach in Hermosa Beach, as I mentioned, locally. Marty, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Okay, so let's get into just really your story, just to kind of fast forward to, I would say, rewind back to when you actually got into CPG and how you got involved with Nestle, Pepsi, and really what was the initial drive and passion of just getting into this industry?
Yeah, this goes back a ways. So when I graduated from college, without really a clear direction what I was going to do, with a degree in economics, I took some time off, went on some surf trips, and a position had opened up with Nestle in their research division. So I actually started my career in market research. And after presenting analytics to the brand teams, I realized I'd like to be on that side of the table and start making decisions on brands. Went and got my MBA and came back to Nestle in the nutrition division, working on brands like Carnation Baby Formula, Carnation Infant Cereal, Nestle Sweet Success, and across a few other brands in the Nestle portfolio. And after 8 years of brand management through that system, I've had my fill with Nestle and was looking for something a little bit more exciting than the Swiss company, and ended up at Pepsi in channel and customer marketing roles, working across a portfolio of brands within the Pepsi system. And that was really my first deep dive into beverage, and loved it. It was fantastic brands to work with. What
were the brands at the time when you were with Pepsi? What brands were like really hot?
So their non-carb portfolio was really taking off at this time. So this was 2000, early 2000s, which is great to see. The CSD business was in decline even back then, and so it was great to work on. And the Quaker deal had just gone through, so I'm able to work on Gatorade, on sports drinks, innovation within that product line, the Aquafina product line, creating some innovation within that, the tea lines. So that was always fun projects to work on. That's where my heart was at more so than the CSD business.
Got it. And these are juggernauts. I mean, we got Nestle, probably one of the biggest CPG brands in the world. Pepsi, obviously amazing experience. And then you roll that into Power Brands. Tell us a little bit about Power Brands.
Yeah, so in 2005, after 15 combined years with Nestle and Pepsi, I was looking for something more entrepreneurial. And as I was looking for that next step, I responded to an ad to create a marketing plan for an energy drink. Again, this is back in 2005. And that's where I met my partner, a person who would become my partner with Power Brands Consulting, Darren Ezra. And we started Power Brands to help other investors or entrepreneurs get into the beverage space and provided toolkits to make that happen. And we put up a really mediocre website and didn't think too much about it. And the next day we had a call from a Harvard professor to help with a beverage formulation project.
Oh, wow. And that's Harvard, not Harbor College.
No,
that's
Harvard.
So Harvard with a V.
And then the next day somebody else called, and somebody else called, and the next thing we know, 10 years later and 1,500 projects later,
Wow, 1,500.
I found myself, we're back working with large national brands. In 2017, I really felt this desire to have my own shop, and so I left Power Brands and started Ocean Blue Innovation to kind of get back to the roots of why we started Power Brands to begin with, which is to, again, help small companies, entrepreneurs, work their way into the beverage space in the most cost-efficient and time-efficient way possible.
And really, I think one important thing just for entrepreneurs that are watching, that are developing their CPG brands, it's like there's so many different elements to work on, right? And wearing different hats, right? It's fundraising. It's developing the brand and the identity. It's developing from ideation just the formula and what goes in the bottle. There's so many different elements and like jigsaw like pieces you have to really put together to have a successful brand. And one of our previous guests, Jim Tonkin, talked about that, where like most brands fail in their first year. 92% normally fail. So by having, I think, that kind of leg up really, really helps to have the right guidance, even though it's still, even with guidance, very, very tough space, super competitive. So with Ocean Blue, this is what's really great about you guys. And I started working, I actually met, for those that, who would know this, right? For those that would know this, because I'm the only one, we're the only ones that know, that I met you at Whole Foods.
I was going to hope this cute meat story was going to come up. So if you were going to say it, I was going to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I beat you to it. Yeah, that's how I am, competitive. I'm just kidding. So, but yeah, just literally in line at Whole Foods in El Segundo. I was buying some kombucha, checking on Genius Juice over there. And I see on the belt in front of me probably 7 or 8 different brands. I see Koi, I see Rebel, I see, and I see all these like plant-based brands. And I'm like, either this guy is just a like plant-based aholic and he loves smoothies, like he's living off these things, or he's in the business. And I was thinking, he's probably in the business, and luckily I was right. Turned into like a 20-minute, 30-minute conversation in the parking lot. Right. And then within, I think 6 months later or a year later, we hired you. And so they formulated our mocha for Genius Juice. They formulated our turmeric. They formulated our vanilla cinnamon. And we also have 2 new flavors coming out. Won't say what they are yet, but they're coming out early next year. That's all Ocean Blue. So what do you think is a good plug for you right there?
I appreciate that.
And we're a national brand, and they made it happen and helped us. So innovation, that's really the next big thing. Entrepreneurs are always trying to get ahead of what is the trend, what are people looking at. For like a minute or two, talk about what do you think is next in the beverage space? What's going to be the next innovation where consumers are going to flock to?
Yeah, it's a really challenging question. So clearly the trend has been towards natural, organic, and functional. Those are 3 main platforms that we see come through our doors. What's next, or what's going to scale? What we're getting a lot of interest in have been botanicals,
like herbs,
including herbals, especially functional herbals. So herbals and botanicals, distillates, hydrosols. So I think that's what it's always tough to see where that trend is going to go, if it's going to catch on and really be led by a national brand. But that's where we're getting a lot of activity in that area.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too, is I think customers are looking more for functional versus just juice.
Right.
Or, gut health is becoming more important than ever. And I think with COVID, more people are even waking up to the fact they want to feel better mentally and healthy, mentally and physically. And I think functional herbs are a good way to do it. I just took lion's mane for the first time a couple weeks ago. I've tripped up a little bit of my words here, but I'm feeling pretty good, and I have a lot of mental acuity. So it actually does work.
Right, absolutely. That energy, mental acuity through those herbals, immunity, as you just mentioned, always will be a hot topic. Gut function, absolutely. That we're seeing a lot of that activity in the work that we're doing.
Awesome. All right, well, we have about a minute or 2 left. This is flew by. What would be, you've already mentioned it pretty much and said these really wise words, but what do you think is your real advice to entrepreneurs that are watching, right? If they're starting a business, besides going to Ocean Blue and hiring you, that's one of your advice pieces.
Right.
I called that one. But what do you think in general, if you have to break it down to a minute or 2, how should you start a CPG business?
Yeah, I say this I think on every call that I have. If you were to reach out to Ocean Blue and we were to have a conversation, I would say, look, have as many of these conversations as you can stomach, whether it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour. try to have as many as you can, not just with companies like ours, we're a third-party formulator, but talk to contract manufacturers, talk to flavor houses, talk to your local grocers, talk to distributors, and really get a sense of your path forward, because there's no one set path to market. There's many different ways that brands can go, and it might be just working with a local contract manufacturer who also does R&D, or to partner with a flavor house that can do in-house R&D, or if those paths aren't available, then a third-party formulator may be able to help out and provide some overall consultation through that R&D step, so that they have some clarity as to what their next steps are as a company and what's their best path to proof of concept. And so really it starts with those conversations and really having a really clear sense of that path to market that is suitable for them, for that specific exercise, for that team, for that product line, for their geography, and then just be as focused as they possibly can. But at the outset, just have more conversations than you've probably ever had over one topic.
Words of genius from Marty Molina. I think it's very, very, I think it's great insight, because you got to be a sponge in this business. Reach out to as many people as you can and learn. I think where I see entrepreneurs fall is when they think they know it all.
Right.
And you got to go into this just soaking everything in, filtering in information. Don't take all the advice you get, but filter in the advice that really matters to help you grow your business and be successful. All right, well, so Marty Molina, co-founder, Ocean Blue Innovation. If anyone wants to get in touch with you for either just to have one of those conversations, right, that 30, 40-minute conversation just to get to know you and find out about the biz, or they want to do actual formulations and make a product and get it to the shelf, how does someone reach you?
Yeah, hopefully we're easy to find. We're at Ocean Blue Innovation. You can Google us. If you Google beverage formulation, hopefully you'll find us. Reach out. Contact information is on the website. My direct information is marty@oceanblueinnovation.com.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being on the show. Really
Alex,
appreciate this.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Great.
really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Thanks
awesome.
so much, man.
Thank you. All right, so that is Marty Molina, Ocean Blue Innovation. We are filming this from Manhattan Beach Studios. This is episode 9, by the way, if I didn't mention that. And again, big credit, Mark N at manhattanbeachstudios.net. And that is it. And one more thing. We actually say stay genius, my friends, to the camera. Do you want to say it together? All right, 1, 2, 3. Stay genius, my friends. All right, good stuff.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.